Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, guess what I found? I was going through the safe looking for some different things, and I found something that I wanted you guys to see. You guys have seen them before, but I got this knife mixed up with one that I think is in here. So let's go ahead and open it up. Just gonna be a little quick video. It's not gonna be a long one. This is the way I keep most of my knives. I keep them in knife rolls and I put them in the safe. And I never know which knife roll is which knife roll because I'm not smart enough to put labels on them. So in order to find something, I usually have to go through everything to find it until I find whatever I'm looking for. But anyway, these are my folding hunter. This is my folding hunter collection that I collected throughout my life. And most of these came from, because like when I really started getting into collecting knives, like, you know, purchasing knives just to collect and keep, it was really like in the 90s, like the late, because I was selling stuff, and then when eBay came about, and I was selling stuff on eBay, and I used to sell pocket knives on eBay. But anyway, this is my collection of bucks and I think charades and queens and cases. Folding hunters. And I confuse this knife, the knife that I always carry. I still do carry this knife sometimes if I go on the motorcycle, like around with a bunch of other buddies on motorcycles that I don't know and stuff. Because this knife is a talking piece. This is a conversation piece. And I thought this was the one that I was carrying when I was 16, and it's not. I bought this one when I was stationed in the Army. And this one got messed up because I had another bad accident when I was in the Army also. It was on the North Hollywood Freeway in Los Angeles when I came home for leave when I had a hernia. So they sent me home for 30 days leave, and I hooked up with my buddy Tavo, and it was near the 4th of July. And we went on a motorcycle ride, just him and I, and you know, my best friend from high school and stuff like that. And we decided to hook up. He was still riding motorcycles, and my pops was still taking care of my bike. And we got on the bikes and we went to San Francisco, down to Monterey, and took Highway 1 all the way down to Los Angeles to visit my cousins. And my cousins all ride motorcycles too. They all ride Harleys and stuff. This is when I was younger, and I still had the, I think it was the 550 Suzuki. The 554 Suzuki that I had when I was in high school. And that's the bike I was on. And Tavo was on, he had a Yamaha 650 twin, one of those old Yamaha 650 twins, but when he bought it, it was brand new. He bought it brand new. And so we took off on our bikes, loaded them all up and stuff, and just, you know, having fun. And we went down to Santa Cruz to watch the 4th of July fireworks, and we camped out at Seals Point, the area right above Santa Cruz. So, and then we hung out on the boardwalk and stuff, and had a good time and everything. Tried to pick up on girls, you know how it goes. But anyway, next day we took off. We went down to Los Angeles, and got to Los Angeles and hooked up with my cousins. They all live in this area called Crenshaw. If you ever saw the movie Boys in the Hood, that's Crenshaw. That's where my family lives. And so we were down there hanging out with my cousins, and like I said, they all ride bikes and Harleys. My cousin Michael had a Norton at that time, an 850 Commando, I think it was. And my cousin Kirk, I can't remember what kind of motorcycle he had. Because he used to have a Goldwing before he got into Harleys. And he might have had the Goldwing. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, we got all drunk and high and wasted and stuff like that. We were out riding around the motorcycles. Went to my cousin's girlfriend's house, and we partied even more there. And then everybody was trying to take my keys away from me because they said I was too drunk and I was too high or whatever to get on the motorcycle. So anyway, I got mad at everybody, got in a fight, and I took off on my motorcycle, jumped on the freeway. I think I was on the North Hollywood Freeway, and going down the freeway, didn't know where I was going or anything. I was just drunk and high and mad and riding. And I got sideswiped by a car that pulled into my lane and hit the front of my tire. And I went over the handlebars, and the bike was following me on the freeway. The freeway was full of cars. Everybody was speeding down the freeway. And when it came to a stop, I landed on top of the bike. I was wearing this knife then. And this knife had been previously, I mean, this knife holder, or sheath, or whatever you call it, this is the one from when I was 16. But this part is from the second accident, and this part was from the first accident down here. In the first accident, the knife didn't get messed up or damaged at all. And this one, it got a little bit damaged. If you look at the handles, I don't know if you can see that. They got kind of damaged. And this is the knife that I carried for, well, I still do carry it sometimes. Now, one of these knives is the knife from when I was 16. And I can't remember which one it is. I think it's this one. Because the wood's different. The wood's different on these. These are the two modern ones I got like in 1998 or 1999 and maybe 2000, 2001. Just because I wanted perfect ones that were never used. Just for my collection. This is the one that I had from when I was 16. And you can see it didn't get damaged. And I forgot that I collected it. And I never paid attention to the dots or the symbols on the blades. But the person said about this one that this one wasn't the one from the 70s because these were made from 81 to 86, they said, I think it was. According to the dots, because it has 4 dots or something. And this one has 2 dots. So this is the one I had in the 70s. And I think I got this one in 1975 or 76. And the reason why I got it, because buck knives were cool back then. Buck knives were the cool knives to have, just like people like Spydercos or Benchmades or you know what I'm saying? The buck knife was a knife to have back in the day in the 70s. If you wanted to be cool, you had to have a buck knife, and you had to be wearing it on your hip in this leather sheath. That's the way people carried them. They didn't carry them in a pocket with a pocket clip. This was the thing back in the day. And buck knives were the only ones that were really making really nice knives. They were making these since the 60s, I think. But I didn't get one until like 1975. 75 or 76, somewhere around that. And this is the one that I got. For all you that know about the symbols. And when I learned about that, I went and looked at these. I can't remember what years they were, but these have different symbols too. I think one was from 2001 or something like that, and the other one was late 90s maybe? I'm not exactly sure. Or early 90s. I just want to share this with you guys real quick. I've been collecting knives for a long time. And all my knives I bought brand new pretty much. All the ones that are in my collection, they're all knives I bought brand new. I think this one was, what does it say? 25th anniversary, a buck. 1968 through 1988. So this is probably from 1988. This purchase just to be a collector. Never use it. But this one got carried when I was a kid. And then when I put it up, I cleaned it up and put it away. And the reason why I put it away, because these came out and I like this better. The ones with the finger grooves. Those are my buck folders. And part of my buck collection now. That's the way I keep my knives, you know, because I try to keep them so they stay nice forever. And I like to keep them in rolls because I like to pull them out every now and then, you know, just to look at them and wipe them down, just, you know, think about things. I don't know, it's just me. It's like, it's my hobby. I've found out through the years, though, when you touch things, especially metal, you always want to wipe it down before you store it. This one has nickel bolsters instead of the brass bolsters. It's a collector's edition one. And you know, these never really gained a whole lot in value because, well, unless you're into, I guess, the codes maybe. But I know you can still get buck knives for like, you know, $70. You know, they're not super expensive. And then they have like even more expensive ones now because they have better metals and or better steels and stuff. These are all 420. All of these are 420 because they were before they start using different steels in them. I don't have any of the new bucks. New bucks, I mean, like the newest bucks I have are like about 20 years old. And the oldest one I have is this one, the one from 1975 or 76. That was my first one. I always try to take care of my things. So, you know, like I don't wear out and beat up things. And when I do, I try to fix them. This is the only one I have that's kind of beaten up. But this knife has been through a lot with me, so I will never sell it, never give it up. And I love it just the way it is. And this is the one I will take to bike shows and motorcycle shows and stuff like that. I'll wear this one in my sheath. People go, look at that sheath. They say, whoa, what happened to your sheath? I got a story to tell. You know, now you meet somebody new, you make a new friend. That's the way it sort of rolls. It's good to have conversation pieces. Why is the blade all stained and ugly? Oh, it's battery acid from my old Harley Davidson, my old iron head. I was always trying to get it started. You know, the brushes would go out on it, and I have to run it, push it down the street, and run and jump on it, and pop it in gear and get it started. I will never own another iron head. I love them, but I like the memory more than I like the bike, I think. I like the story more than I like the bike. I like the new Harleys or the newer Harleys. I don't have a new Harley, but I like the ones that are more dependable. These right here, I'll show you these real quick too. None of these are bucks. And let me see, I can't remember what this one is. Oh, Remington. This was a Remington knife. I was thinking it was going to be a charade or something. It's a Remington. And I'm a Remington person. My favorite bird gun or bird shotgun is a Remington 870 pump, 12 gauge pump. And you go for geese, I get the Magnum shot. I have a Magnum pump too, 870. Those are my shotguns. So I've always been a fan of Remingtons. My pops used to have a Remington 1100 was his favorite shotgun. We always did a lot of bird hunting, like doves, quail, pheasants and geese, ducks. That was my favorite kind of hunting because especially for dove hunting, because you get to shoot a lot. I was the kind of kid that always I didn't really care for killing animals. That wasn't really my thing. I liked eating them though, but I didn't really care for killing them. I don't know. I don't know. That was just me. But I loved to shoot. I like to be able to outshoot everybody else. This is Uncle Henry, charade Uncle Henry. I call them buck clones because all these types of knives came out after buck knives are making knives like this. And buck knives are such a high seller and such a favorite type of knife, folding hunter type knife, that everybody else started cloning them, started copying their style. You know how that works. This was the 60s and 70s and 80s when these knives were like at their peak. The Spyderco came out with the pocket clip. And everybody started liking to carry knives, lighter weight knives, in their pocket with the pocket clip instead of carrying them on the sheet, carrying them in the sheet. So Spyderco is very important as far as like the knife world, because they really changed the way people actually carried knives and used knives. And you see, what was this one? Oh, this is the Queen cutlery I have. It's a Nighthawk. Number 1215 USA, stainless steel. Made by Queen Cutlery. Nickel bolsters with brass liners. I don't know what kind of wood that is. My other style of folding hunters I always liked was the Mustang style. Mustang Pattern folders, which is even older than these. I don't even know how far back the Mustang Pattern dates back. It's more of a Western style pocket knife. And Schrade made a whole lot of those. And Cold Steel still makes them. They call it, it's the one with the carbon steel. I forget what they call it. Range Boss or Ranch Boss or something like that. It's an old style looking knife. That's the Mustang Pattern. Or just like the Broken Skull. The Broken Skull was the Mustang Pattern. Cold Steel's made like 3 knives with the Mustang Pattern. So I think Lindsey Thompson must like that style too. This old case knife. And this one, they had all the different sharks. This one's a hammerhead shark. Case knives were nice. Case knives used to, back in the day, they were like super high quality knives. But Buck is the one that came out with that style first, not Case. Case copied, like everybody else. Because Buck was making all the money selling their pocket knives, everybody wanted a Buck knife. They forgot about all the old style knives, the traditionals and stuff. I know people think of a Buck knife maybe nowadays as a traditional, but back then it was the modern thing. That one's got a little bit of tarnish on it. And this one doesn't have a picture of a shark on it. This one has bone stag handles though. Look like a stag handle, like a deer stag. I don't know what it is for sure though. I know it's a natural bone though. Antler. I want to say it's some kind of deer stag. All right, people. But that's it for this one. That's all I just wanted to show you real quick to clarify that. Oh, and the story behind this one. Let me tell you the story behind this one. I'll tell you the story behind the other one. And this one, when I had my accident, I broke 8 bones. I broke 8 bones. And the way I survived the accident, a group of skinheads, Chicano skinheads, gangbangers, they were in a 64 Chevy Impala lowrider. They got behind me and they stopped the traffic on the freeway. Because until they stopped the traffic on the freeway, people were just whizzing by me. And they helped me up and stuff, got my bike up, and they took my bike and they put it at a gas station in their neighborhood, so it was protected. And they took me to the hospital. They took me to Cadillac Hospital. And then from there, my family found out what happened to me or whatever, and everybody came and got me or whatever. But I went back to Germany, having casts on my legs and arms, looking like Frankenstein. And I was sent home on medical leave to heal from my hernia surgery. And I came back in worse shape than I left. That was the humor behind that. But anyway, that's the story behind this one. This one, when I had the accident on this one, it was in my 3rd month of owning a street motorcycle. Before that, I only ridden dirt bikes and mini bikes and things like that. The Suzuki 554 was my first, GS Suzuki 554 was my first street bike. And after a little bit, I got overconfident on it. And we have this park called Wayland Park in Sacramento, South Sacramento. And that's where we used to hang out when I was a kid. And Tavo and I were hanging out in the park. We're getting drunk and high, hanging out and stuff like that, like we always used to do. We were like Cheech and Chong at our high school. And there was a group of us that rode motorcycles, a group of kids that went to my high school that rode motorcycles. We used to all hang out together. And we all hang out in Wayland Park. That was our spot. And so anyway, it was late at night, and me and Tavo decided we wanted to race through the park. And so we were racing through the park, and I came around this one bend, and I was beating Tavo, and there's like a whole bunch of leaves, and I hit the leaves, and the bike slid out from under me, and I just followed the bike, and the sparks all flying up on me and stuff like that, and the bike hit the curb, bounced up, flipped over twice, and hit a tree, and I landed on top of the bike. I didn't get hurt in that one, but I did get road rash. And that's about the only thing I got. I didn't break any bones or anything. And so Tavo used to work at the fish market. And we went to his job and we stole one of the trucks. And brought it back to the park, put my bike in it, and we took my bike home. We were trying to hide it from my pops because my pops didn't want me to get a motorcycle because my grandpa lost a finger on his Harley Davidson in a bad accident that he had. And so my pops was always afraid of motorcycles. He didn't like motorcycles. And he said the only way I was able to get a motorcycle is if I, paid for it on my own. So that summer, when I was 16, I got a job working at our local grocery store, and I saved every penny I earned for 6 months and went and bought a motorcycle. That's how I got my first motorcycle. And it was black with gold pinstripes. And I cut the mufflers off because I wanted to be loud. I couldn't afford a header pipe. Them's was the days. Young and wild. And so anyway, we brought the bike back and we took it off the back of the fishing truck and we dropped it. And it made a bunch of noise and my pops woke up and he asked me what we were doing. And he said, we were like, nothing. And he goes, did you have a motorcycle accident? I said, yeah. Did you get hurt? No. And he said, okay. He turned off the light and went back to bed. That bike got replaced. It got totaled out. The insurance covered it, and they gave me a brand new bike again. And I didn't have any more bad accidents until the one I had in Los Angeles when I came home from the Army. And after that one, I gave that bike to my cousin Kurt. And my next bike was a Harley. That's when I got the Ironhead Sportster. And that was my first Harley. But anyway, that's all them stories. I'm gonna put this back in the safe. Just thought I'd bring it out. And this one stays out. This one doesn't go in the safe. This one stays out. It still works. Because like I said, sometimes I get on the motorcycle, I go to motorcycle events, and that's what this one's for now. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Peace out. Stiletto.